Today's episode is brought to you by a beautiful place to take your face to Europe. And I'm talking about Gray Block Pizza. Can't afford to take your family to Europe? Just at least go to local Italy. You know what I'm saying? Gray Block Pizza, 1811 Pico Blvd in Los Angeles on the way to the beach. Gray Block. Get that eater. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take care of your money. Protect yourself, protect your life, protect your wife. And you can do that. Well, you can't protect your wife, but you can protect everything else with a Ridge wallet. A lot of people have wallets and they don't know what their life is going to be like. They're uncertain. They failed out of school, blah, 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 blah. But this is different. A Ridge wallet is a wallet that goes in the front of your pants, in one of your front pockets. And it carries just really the necessities, man. It carries the credit cards, the identification, the maybe a little bit of money. You can clip it in there. But none of these extracurriculars. You don't need to be carrying around, a little hula hoop or maybe, a little Beavis and Butthead keychain. You can change all of that, and you can change your life. And you can do that by getting a Ridge wallet. It's that front pocket carry. Know how to manage your money. Know how to manage yourself. Keep your stuff in a Ridge wallet. So go to ridgewallet.com/Theo and use promo code Theo for 10% off. That's ridgewallet.com/Theo and use promo code Theo. Ridge Wallet. Get that hitter. Ladies and gentlemen, the man that's in here right now has been a champion. You know what I'm saying? Now, think about something you're good at. Now think about being the best at it. The best. This man, he's he's an original American, if you will. He's British. And he's a sportscaster. He's an author. He's probably he'd probably be a very violent babysitter even. We're just really happy to have him here. Champion, personality, actor, Mr. Michael Bisping. Dude, do you guys have Halloween there in the UK?
Halloween in England, yeah, we do, but it's not like it is over here.
Really?
You guys go overboard. You really, really get into the Halloween, which is great. I love it. My son's super excited, but, the English, we're not Americans.
Right.
You guys go a little bit overboard on everything.
Is it too much, huh?
Everything, which is great. I love it. But when you see 47-year-old doctors standing in line at Ralph's discussing what they're going to dress up as, I can't help but roll my eyes a little bit and think, get a fucking grip, man. You got 3 kids at home and, I'm going to go as a fucking scary ghost this year. I'm like, dude, get a grip. Come on.
A scary ghost.
I'm going to go as Casper or whatever, sexy wizard or something.
Yeah, well, especially out here in LA, you see a lot of male doctors going as sexy wizards as well.
Yeah.
I'll definitely say that. This whole city,
I guess we go to different parties.
That's the whole definition of this city is a bunch of sexy wizards.
Oh, sounds good.
Has it gotten? I feel like especially like if you're in the West Coast, you live in California.
Yeah, I live in Orange County. Yeah.
Nice,
so
man.
Just, an hour outside of LA.
And do you feel like, you're really?
I'm spilling the coffee.
This thing's spilling his coffee.
Jesus
You still got
Christ.
the shakes on from the fights.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm all good.
All right, are you sure?
I'm okay. I'm just nervous, Theo. I'm really nervous here.
I don't know if we're going to look at the judge's cards, but I think he lost the first round of that coffee right there.
I fucking did. It's leaking everywhere.
Is it really?
No, it's not. I'm just clumsy.
Oh. But yeah, in the U.S., it's like, I feel like we're getting a little bit soft over here. Does it feel like, because, America started in England. We're just,
America started in England. Yeah, well, I guess we founded the country.
Yeah.
And, then you guys decided to do your own thing, and we said, have the ball and run with it. Go with it. Be our guest. We couldn't be bothered with the botheration of fighting a war across the Atlantic. I know you guys get very excited about it. The War of Independence. It's like, dude, we had a very, very small outpost, and an entire country beat like a few hundred of our soldiers, and we're like, do you know what? Have the fucking thing, you ungrateful bastards.
Yeah, you guys sent the B team over, I think, as well.
Yeah, exactly. But.
Do you think that is America like softer than the UK though? Because I don't have an understanding. I feel like the West Coast seems kind of soft to me. Like Los Angeles seems
I see what you're saying. So yeah, like more liberal, whatever. I don't know. Have you spent much time in England?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. They're very similar. very similar cultures. Of course, there is subtle differences, of course, but yeah, generally pretty similar, to be honest. So I wouldn't say we're softer, harder. Of course, different parts of the country, are better off, or harder, or poorer neighborhoods, or whatever. But there's good and bad, rough and smooth everywhere you go.
And you could really probably fist fight a pretty strong girl up in Newcastle. I don't know if you've ever been out there.
No, I've been to Newcastle.
I went to Newcastle once.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, Newcastle's, that's a tough town.
Yeah.
That's a tough town.
A lot of vibrant, big, hardy women running around drinking, it seemed like.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. You go out, that's the thing in England. You go out on a Friday night and they do the pub crawls.
Yeah.
But up in Newcastle and the north, in fact, everywhere in England, it's freezing cold. It's certainly in the winter.
Yeah.
But those women are hardcore. They'll still go out, no jacket, little tiny mini skirt, tits hanging out all over the place.
Tits.
Probably
udders even, some of them.
A flabby belly hanging out all over the place. Blowing a gale.
Yeah.
Downpour, heavy rains, windy as fuck, -3. They don't give a shit.
In a line.
They are out in
holding
force.
hands in a line, one after the next.
Trying to get that next drink.
Oh. It's beautiful, man. It's like watching like those turtles that come onto the beach to have babies, and then it's almost like seeing like a rite of passage. I feel like in the UK.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't
seeing
know.
the bridal parties.
I've ever thought, the bridal parties,
like
the Hindus,
the hen
Hindus
parties.
Yeah, they're fun. You want to stay away from them.
Oh, it was like the Polar Express. One of them coming right at me. It was like 9 of them in a row.
Yeah, no, for sure. And probably one had a veil on and like some kind of sash around her, like she's in a beauty pageant. But she definitely doesn't belong in a beauty pageant at all. Any woman that's doing that, I'm pretty sure my wife didn't do that. Any woman that, stay away from
It's a bit much.
It's a little bit much, yeah.
And Halloween, they're like, what kind of, I feel like you guys would have really old-fashioned costumes, like the plague victims, or like,
the costumes?
Yeah, like Edgar Allan Poe.
I think these days, American culture does tend to, seep into British culture eventually. You know what I mean? We're a little bit slow to catch on to certain things, and I feel like the Halloween vibe, everyone dressing up and all that, it's starting to catch on. As I say, as children we dress up, you know what I mean, but now
not adults though.
No,
there's a bit more
because we're adults.
We
don't fucking dress up as ghosts or wizards or witches because it doesn't do anything for us. But as I say, now some people are getting a little bit cheesy.
Yeah.
And they're doing the whole fucking American Halloween party.
It's an America's like an infection kind of that infects the rest of the world.
I wouldn't say it's an infection. Listen, you're trying to get me to talk shit here.
No. Look.
I love living here in America. I'm a proud Englishman.
Oh, no, yeah.
Proud Englishman, of course. But yeah, this is where I'm bringing up my family. I love it out here. Yeah.
And do you feel, is it tough to have like British tradition in your house here in America? I just feel like America, it's just kind of I love being in America too. Like I just feel like it overtakes everything. I just feel like it's kind of like a hedge that just kind of keeps growing or a vine.
I'm trying to think. I mean, there's not too many English traditions really. I mean, we're starting to adopt American cultures really, like Thanksgiving. That's not a thing in England, obviously, but who doesn't like a good roast dinner?
Right.
Who doesn't like roast beef and all the trimmings? So we're like, fuck it, we're doing Thanksgiving now. And the way my wife looks at it, it's a warm-up for Christmas.
Right.
So if we're going to have an argument or shit's going to hit the fan, we'll do it on Thanksgiving. So Christmas goes smooth.
That's cool. You have 3 children, do you have?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
3.
And how is it, do they look at you as like, is it tough to be like the man in the ring and then the man at the house? Like, is it different? Is it a different guy?
No, I mean, I guess I've always done it. So all they've ever known was, dad as a fighter, I guess. Now I'm retired, it's a little different. But they I don't know, they disassociate themselves from that pretty easily.
Really?
Yeah, they don't look at me like that. They don't treat me like that. Certainly my teenage daughter doesn't give me any respect whatsoever. I get a lot of eye rolling and told to shut the door on the way out. That's what I get. If she looked at me as a fighter, maybe she'd have a little bit more respect. You know? She's a teenage girl though. I was an asshole when I was 15.
And she's not at your weight class either, I'm guessing.
No, exactly. Otherwise I slapped that bitch real hard. Not my weight class.
Right, yeah.
Hey, equal opportunities.
Hey,
right?
I agree. Look, man. Hey, dude.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Oh, I'm thinking about
Love you, sweetheart. I'm joking, of course.
I'm thinking about getting a sex change and fighting maybe at about 140 against some women.
Somebody's done that.
Really?
That's happened. I forget the name. There was
Fallon
Fox. There was a whole controversy about that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well.
Do you feel like the fighting? Like, do you feel like that, with social media and things, but us becoming more of like a me universe, that fighting has gotten softer over the years at all? Have you noticed anything?
I don't know if it's anything. What do you mean by me universe?
Like, just like everybody's more like when I was growing up, like everybody didn't have a social media. Everybody wasn't a star. Everyone wasn't a star.
Okay, I got you. I think generally, and the UFC is a bigger product these days. It's a bigger brand. It's worldwide. There's more shows. It used to be, a handful of shows a year.
Yeah.
So the talent pool was very small, but they were very tough guys. These days they got to fill more shows. So yes, of course, you got fantastic fighters. You got Khabib and Conor going on this weekend, an amazing fight.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that.
And there's a lot of great fights. But then also they got to fill the card up. They got to fill the roster a little bit. So there's some guys, in my humble opinion, that I think don't really deserve to be there.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. They got to put fights on, and those guys are on the undercards. You know, and if they're good, they prove themselves. Then they work their way up and be on the main card. If they're not good enough, then bon voyage.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. The cream will rise to the top. Everything gets a bit diluted, especially as it gets bigger.
Sure, exactly. And that's no fault of the UFC. It's just supply and demand, I guess,
Yeah.
and trying to find the good fighters out there,
We have speaking of a good fighter, I mean, it's kind of a wild term, but Brennan Schaub also works out of the local studio.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. He never mentions it.
Do you think you could beat him if you came back out?
Brendan Schaub?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. There's a reason why he's fucking hanging around with you guys. And
That's a good point.
Jesus Christ. No disrespect to Big Brown.
No,
but yeah.
Okay.
He knows. He knows. Come
bro.
on.
Look, there's a reason he isn't here today. I mean, I told him, I said,
really?
I said,
Nah.
Bisping's going to be in the building, and suddenly he got sick this morning, he said.
Okay.
He said he came down with a cold. So I'm like, a cold? Sounds in California. Come on, guy.
Yeah, very convenient. Anytime this isn't directed at Brendan, but that's like the go-to bullshit excuse. Oh, I'm not feeling too good. That used to be my one on a Monday morning when I called in the factory to say I'm not going to be there. Yeah, I'm sick. I'm sick. But then I think, now I've got to take Tuesday off as well, because no one gets sick for one day.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Monday, Tuesday, and fuck it, let's take the whole week off. Next minute you're fired. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, Michael, you don't come in. I'm like, I've got to make it look believable.
You're like, I've got cancer. Now you're holding a fundraiser.
Yeah,
now you're holding a
GoFundMe. I'm like, see, I told you, it's legit.
Do they, with the fight coming up, with the McGregor fight coming up this week, how do you, what is your take? Let's just start there.
McGregor.
What do you think you'll see?
Listen, it's one or the other, and this isn't, generating any headlines by saying this. Either Conor's going to knock him out, or Khabib's going to take him down and maul him, and either one of those is a very realistic possibility, very realistic scenario. I mean, Khabib's a way better wrestler. The problem is he's got to close the distance. He's got to punch his way into the clinch. Khabib isn't the type of guy that shoots from a distance.
Right.
And generally, if you do that in MMA these days, it doesn't work. Do you follow what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
I'm just wondering where where your understanding is.
I started getting into MMA probably about 5 or 6 months ago.
Right. Okay. Oh, so fucking hell, you know it all. You're
it's new, but it's very novel to me. Like, I'm curious about why people even want to fight, but at the same time, like, I'm friends with Dustin Poirier. I was just texting with him, telling him you're coming in. I'm excited.
Nice. Dustin's a great guy.
And he's a good guy.
Yeah, so Khabib, he's got to punch his way into the clinch. The problem is he's got to go through Conor McGregor to do that.
Right.
He's got to get past those hands, which is very dangerous. But if he can do that and get his hands on Conor, he'll probably get him down and maul him. As I say, the danger for Khabib is Conor can punch. He's very explosive. He's very fast. He's very accurate, and he can knock people out. So it's a tough one.
Is it the same Conor that we've seen though? Like because his last fight was Mayweather.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And before that was Diaz. Right.
No, before that was Alvarez.
Okay. Is it the same Conor that's gonna
100%. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years." So what? Guys like Conor, guys like me. Is this happening right now?
Oh, this is America's doing some test today. Do you know that?
This is not a drill.
No, this
is what I saw this morning about the thing in Hawaii. Did you remember the thing in Hawaii where there was they said there was a missile coming in? This is not a drill.
No.
That was on the news this morning.
Oh, really?
Again, yeah. I don't know why it was on the news this morning.
I don't know why they would shoot Hawaii.
In Maui. My friend Kendall Grove is an MMA fighter. He was at my house at the time.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. When that came in, his family lives in Maui. He was at my house training for a fight, and he said, "Oh my God, they're saying this is not a joke. There's a nuclear bomb or missiles about to blow up Maui." He was freaking the fuck out.
And it was a joke.
False alarm. Somebody pushed the wrong button. Not trying to laugh at your misery, Kendall, but
It's okay, dude.
I was kind of laughing inside it. I was like, this is hilarious.
Bro,
of course, I'm joking. He's got 6 kids. You know?
Yeah, wow. Well,
No,
maybe.
when we found out it wasn't,
Right.
when we knew it was a joke, I'm like, it was
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Well, look, some dads would be happy to be out of town if they had 6
Jeez.
kids if a missile hits the house.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. If my kids take him, I've got 6. Just leave me 2. You know, leave me the best ones.
Let Mother
Leave me the
Nature
good
sort
ones.
it out.
Exactly. Survival of the fittest. Anyway, where were we?
So we were talking about the fight, and we're talking about that everybody talks about like the vibe on the street, the world, the feeling on the street is that McGregor has been, you hear all these rumors he's been partying, he's been juggling strippers up in like penthouses, which is possible.
Well, I mean, I don't know anything about that,
but that it slows you, that slows you down. You lose the fever.
You're right. Maybe for a certain type of guy, but for a guy like me, it wouldn't. For a guy like Conor, I don't think it would.
You don't think it would?
I'm not a Conor McGregor, to use a popular term, a nut hugger of Conor McGregor. I'm
Right.
not that guy that goes out there, but I'll just be honest. The person, because we have the same manager, so, I know him. The person that I know, I don't think that would matter. And then when you look at the fact that, as you said correctly, his last fight was Floyd Mayweather. In going into that fight, Max Kellerman, the
promoter,
the commentator, HBO guy,
okay,
he said McGregor will not land a single punch. Well, of course, he landed more than a single punch. He landed a lot of shots in the first few rounds. He landed that big uppercut. It was either round 1 or round 2.
Oh, that was the best.
Now, the point I'm making from all this is, if he can land on Floyd Mayweather, he can sure as hell land on Khabib.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
It's gonna be like landing on. It's gonna be like just storming the beaches of North. It's like just with his speed.
But who knows? If Khabib gets him down, I mean, Khabib's 26-0 for a reason. I'm sure he's been hit over those 26 fights. He hasn't been knocked out. He's never lost a round. If he can get his hands on Conor, it's going to be a very long, painful night for Conor.
But you don't think that there's do you feel like there's an infection of ego that can happen that can deteriorate a fighter from the inside?
Well, that's what the press conferences are all about. That's why when you see Conor up there and he's doing his thing, he's a wild man.
He's peacocking a bit,
Yeah, no, for sure.
And he's great at it.
You're trying to get in your opponent's heads. That's what I do. When I used to do a press conference, I'd talk so much shit.
Yeah.
Exude confidence, right? And then so they think, fucking... This guy, man, he's not scared of anything, this guy.
Right.
And then you talk shit. I remind them of when they've been knocked out. I'll say, oh, this guy choked you out, this guy knocked you out. Put that in their mind.
Right.
And then when we square up, I look like a thug. But when I get in your face and I'm talking shit and everyone's like, whoa, he's a bit of an asshole. I'm trying to win a fight. I'm trying to get a mental edge.
Right.
So therefore, if you believe that, you think, God, this guy, I saw the look in his eye. This guy's crazy, man. He means it. That can affect you in the fight. Not with everybody, but sometimes it can have a psychological effect to where then you're almost beaten before the fight even starts. And then therefore you don't commit to your shots.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh shit, if I go forward, but I've got to do it. Oh, I'll close my eyes and just swing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
you're done.
You're done.
It's the same as stand-up comedy. If you're afraid of the audience, or there's somebody in the audience like an executive or something that you think you're afraid of, and you're afraid to land your shots.
There you go. Exactly.
Afraid to land your shots.
Commit, be free, and just do your thing.
Do you think like some fighters, an ego can get inside of them and it can deteriorate them? Do you feel like, and I feel like that's what that's...
In what sense? What do you mean?
Like, you just become a champion. And you start to believe it so much.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
That you don't work as hard, or that you don't...
well, you're an idiot if you do that.
That you don't have the drive as much.
I mean, I'm not going to name names, but there's been certain people over the years that have definitely fallen foul to that.
Do you think that that's what's happened with that? I feel like
Conor?
that's the energy out there that people are saying what's happening.
No,
with Conor.
I don't think
Just
so.
word on the street. I'm a man on the street.
Yeah, for sure. Me and you both. But listen, I'm telling you, I haven't been, I haven't been obsessing over Conor McGregor's Instagram page because I'm not fucking 12 years old.
Right.
But, from what I see,
we're adults.
He's been training very hard. There's a lot at stake here for Conor. It's not just about the money. It's not just about winning the belt. There's a lot of people that say he doesn't deserve to be where he is. There's a lot of people that say perhaps he had an easy run. The UFC handpicked him opponents. Now he's fighting Khabib. So now he's not only fighting for the money and the belt. He's trying to prove to everybody, all those naysayers, listen, I am who I always said I was.
Yeah.
If he goes in there and gets his fucking ass kicked, everyone will say, oh, you had an easy run. If he wins, then you can't deny the guy.
Right.
So there's a lot of pressure there. So therefore, unless you're a very stupid person, which Conor isn't,
He's
going to be working his ass
Right.
off.
He's showing up. It's the same
For
Conor.
sure. Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck do I know? I don't know. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think. I hope.
But I mean, I feel like if you know him, and even, I mean, I don't know him at all. I've never met him.
I mean, I haven't spoken to the guy in a long time.
Right.
You know, so we don't have a relationship, you know, but from what I know of him, he's a smart guy. So
What about Darren Till, man?
what about him?
Are you friends with Till?
No, not friends. I mean, he's from Liverpool. I'm from...
I'm kind of fascinated by him a little bit.
yeah, well, a lot of people seem to be, you know. Yeah, no, I mean...
He's entertaining.
Yeah, he's entertaining. Yeah,
He's
no,
funny.
for sure. Yeah, yeah. Hey, you know, he's not that funny.
Right. I mean,
I think I'm funnier, but whatever. No. I handed the torch to Darren. He's hilarious.
Yeah, there you go.
No, we... No, I've only met him a couple of times. Nice guy, though.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Is he a nice guy?
Seems to be.
He's young.
I mean, I don't know him, but, you know, I've met him a couple of times and said hi and, you know, exchanged pleasantries. Yeah, got a bright future. He's young, like 26, 27, I think. So, yeah.
When you see these younger guys, even though it's, you know, it's not many years, but like, you know, dogs age in different years than humans. Is there
Yes.
fighting years that age? Like, do you age in faster as a fighter?
That's a good comparison. I mean, I guess it all depends.
Right.
You know, if you're the type of fighter that goes out there, I mean, you see it, you know, they say, I'll take one to land one, you know,
Right.
and all that, and it's kind of a dumb mentality. As a fighter, the idea is to hit and not get hit. Fight smart. You know, no one wants to take punches. People say, oh, I like getting hit. I don't mind getting hit. Yeah, well, guess what? You're fucking dumb, okay? And you're going to struggle when you're in your 50s, okay?
Yeah.
You want to remember your kids and your grandkids' names,
Yeah.
you know?
You don't want to be guessing. You don't want to be playing charades at your own Thanksgiving, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you just fucking...
Well, I don't know. I play charades at my Thanksgiving. And
But I mean, to
what's
know
wrong with that?
who your family is, you know?
Yeah. Oh, no, for sure. Yeah, so, I mean, it all depends on the fighter. Some
Yeah.
fight, I mean, like a Diego Sanchez, he's a great fighter to watch. Very entertaining, you know, but I do... You know, he's got a lot of miles on the clock. I don't say I worry for him. He's great and he seems fine, but you know, he's got a lot of miles on the clock. So
Yeah.
to answer your question in a long roundabout way, it all depends on your style of fighting.
Do you feel like there's any ethnicity that is, or even an age, or any of those that are like the best fighters? Like I've been beaten up by black guys and white guys. I never been beaten up by.
Which was the worst beating?
Oh, you know, I didn't prefer the black guys really. But this is in Louisiana.
Anytime you get beat up, it's never a fun experience.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? So
did you ever have any like? Did you ever have any like any fears like that? Like, oh, this guy's from a certain place or of a certain ethnicity, and I'm more scared.
No, I didn't. No. I mean, there's no real ethnicity really. I think where one has an advantage. But no, I never. I mean, I've fought all types of guys, but no, never. As a fighter, you don't think like that. As a fighter, you got to think that you're gonna win.
Right.
You know, and I always did. I always truly believed in my heart of hearts. And fighters, they don't think like that. They don't think, oh, I'm scared of this guy. If that's what you think, then you're doing the wrong job. You've got to think that you're the baddest man and you can take care of this guy 100%. Now, of course, I didn't always win, but I always went in there believing that.
Really?
And even afterwards, I still thought, that motherfucker, he just caught me. He got lucky. Let's go again.
Yeah.
Let's go again. Come on, you won't happen again. And then as you get a little older and then you start, and then once that edge goes, that's when you know it's time to hang it up.
Yeah?
You know, yeah, for sure. If you actually consider that the person you're going to fight is going to beat you, you shouldn't be thinking like that. You got to have absolute confidence. And going back to McGregor, that's one of the things that he exudes. So that's what makes him so successful as well.
When you went into your last two fights, the last two fights of your career, were losses. Do you? Sorry to break it to you.
Well, shit, I had no idea. In my mind, I'm still the 185-pound champ. What's going on?
Oh, look, dude. In our minds and hearts, you are. Did you know that it was like the edge was starting to go, or was it just?
No, it wasn't that. My edge is still there 100%, but for me, I had injuries.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of injuries. I mean, my right eye suffered a lot with that. My vision out of that is almost non-existent. I mean,
Wow.
I do see out of it, but not a tiny bit. And
You're like a rescue animal a bit now.
And word got out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And everyone was targeting that side. You know, so it is what it is. You know, I mean, I fought for years with impaired vision. You know,
Did you feel like it was a bit cheap? Like maybe they should tie one of their arms or wear a patch.
You
the other guy.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Put a patch on the other.
Oh, I think it'd be fucking fair.
It'd be fucking great. It would make it fair.
Yeah.
It would make it fair, and I'd like to see how well you motherfuckers do with an eye patch on.
Yeah, GSP with 2 fucking eyes.
You wouldn't knock out Luke Rockhold in the first round on 2 weeks' notice.
Not a
Guarantee you
chance.
wouldn't have the most wins in the UFC.
Not a chance.
Guarantee.
Not a chance.
But yeah, you know, for me, the reason I retired, obviously I lost to GSP. And my wife wanted me to retire a long time ago.
Yeah. You could see it in her eyes a bit. I was watching yesterday. I was watching when you beat Rockhold and took the title, and your family's there in the ring, and Rogan's interviewing you, and you really cool moment, man. You could tell,
thank you.
You were so. I mean,
yeah.
You must. Can you feel that even in your body still sometimes? That moment.
When I see it back, when I watch it back, yeah, for sure, man. It was great. It really was, because everybody always wrote me off throughout my career, and I always believed in myself, and my wife did, and my team.
You can see that with her. You can see like,
she if it weren't for her, I wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation with you today.
Yeah.
You know, so she was a big part of the journey. But what got us onto this? Maybe I have been hitting the head too many times. What were we talking about?
No, we were just talking about do you when you know it's time?
Oh, sorry, that's what we were saying.
And I'm just generally curious. Fight. Like I'm not like, I'm just I have trouble. I've always had trouble. Like I was always kind of afraid to fight as a kid. Like I had to use my words because I wasn't strong. Nobody ever taught me how to like fight or like defend myself as a kid. And so I was always a chatterbox. I was the guy you would probably hit first.
When I was a kid, I mean, without going into too much detail, there was a lot of violence in our house.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of brothers, and my mum and dad, they weren't afraid to kick the shit out of us on occasion, on a daily basis, I'd say. And then having older brothers that were assholes as well.
Oh,
I spent a lot of time getting the shit kicked out of me.
You think they could have given you a break, at least the brothers,
Well, they keep you honest. But so yeah, when I was young, I was kind of that kid.
Yeah.
Always getting into scraps. And then I met my wife, and she calmed me down.
Yeah.
Fortunately, thank God.
How nice is it to have like that family, that background? Like, does that just to know that you have a place no matter what is going on? Like, do you feel that now? Like, were you able to feel that throughout your career? Like,
in what sense?
Like if you have somebody that really cares about you, to have that at the house, having somebody hold down your home and have a home,
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the biggest thing a fighter needs. A fighter needs a stable home life. A lot of fighters, if their home scenario is in turmoil, if they've got a crazy wife, if they've got a volatile relationship, if they're young, free and single and they're being distracted and pulled in all these other directions, that's not good for a fighter.
Right.
The best thing a fighter needs is a nice, calm, stable home life. You don't want to be at the gym sparring with guys, wrestling guys, doing jiu-jitsu, getting the shit kicked out of you, lifting weights, sparring, running sprints, all that shit, and then going home and then having another 5 rounds with your wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need a nice, stable home life. And if the home life isn't right, then that can affect the fighter in the octagon, in the boxing ring, in the performances. So it's important. I was always lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. She does as she's fucking told.
I hope so, dude.
I'm joking.
Look, I remember the old days, man.
She's the best.
The old days, you used to, you just meet a woman anywhere and just bring her home, and that was it.
Well, I mean, I've never experienced that one, but okay.
And if
you say so, buddy, that might be called rape in some places.
I think, But if she went missing, it was like, she went to get water by the spring. Maybe a wolf got her.
Maybe.
Those are the old days, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Where are you from, Louisiana?
From Louisiana.
That's how it goes on in Louisiana.
Yeah, it's different. Okay,
all right. Sounds like fun. I gotta go sometime.
You gotta go. Have you got to spend any time with like Cormier or Poirier? I'm a big Louisiana.
No, of course, yeah, absolutely. I work with Cormier at Fox all the time.
Yeah, neat guy.
Great guy. Oh, he's the best. He's a bully.
Yeah.
He tries to bully me all the time.
Does he really?
Oh, every time.
Wow.
Every time he walks in the room. You would think having 2 belts and being...
Well, you might need 2 belts. He's got a bit of girth on him, too,
He's got a very wide midsection.
Yeah, he does, right? It's almost like he's made of, like, butterscotch or something.
He's a big barrel-esque figure. DC's great. He's awesome. We just bust each other's balls.
He seems like a really charming guy.
He is. He's great.
Did you start to notice at some point in your career that you were going to... that you had a knack also for commentating and for being a personality? Like, did that start to grow in you? What was that like?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's always weird, right? You sit and you watch it at home and you think, oh, this is easy. This is easy. Look, these guys are terrible. Right. And then I actually got a shot at doing it on Fox, and it's way harder at first. Once you get used to it all, it's a walk in the park. It's easy. But at first, You know, like, shit, this is actually harder to do it on cue, you know, to make sense.
But did you start to notice it in your career? Like I noticed, like for my career has been lifting up over the past year and a half, right? And I put in a lot of work, you know, 15 years as a comedian. But I start to notice now I'm a little bit more of a businessman than I ever thought I was.
Oh.
It's just a different side of me that I didn't know. I kind of lived in me, but it started to kind of bloom. But during your fighting, did you start to know that you had enough of a personality to also do commentary?
Yeah, well, for me, you know, I mean, as a fighter, being a successful fighter, you know, you get certain opportunities, and you explore those opportunities. I mean, for me, you know, I never thought I'd be an actor, you know, and that's what I'm working on these days. That's where my primary focus is. And being, you know, an MMA fighter, I got an opportunity to do this movie, and I'd never acted in my life. I didn't do fucking drama school or anything like that. I thought that was for fucking queers.
Billy
you know
Elliot,
I mean?
brother.
Yeah,
you know
and
I'm not a puff dad.
I'm like, nah, this
dad.
ain't my scene. Anyway, but then I got a shot doing a martial arts movie, and I went and I did it. And like anything I do, I try and put my best foot forward. So I did some acting classes and stuff going into it, and I did this movie, and I loved it, absolutely loved it, and that kind of developed that passion. So I started exploring that more and more, and then stuff on TV with Fox and all the rest of it, and a bit of commentary, and then a podcast. Started doing all this type of stuff, and it just kind of slowly started developing into a career. It was never a conscious effort,
right?
You know, it wasn't. I thought one day, I'm gonna start trying to do a podcast or be an actor or whatever. But it just, you know, you might go from. There might be 6 months between fights.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You go to the gym, you work out. That's an hour and a half. What else are you going to do with the rest of your day?
Yeah.
I like to be busy. If I'm not busy, I start freaking out. You know, like today I got a busy day. Yesterday I was a little quiet and I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
Your head get, oh, wow. Yeah.
So I like to be busy all the time. So I was exploring all these things between fights. And then, as I say, slowly developed into a career. And then I thought, you know, I've been hitting the head long enough. Maybe I've got enough going on to step away from the octagon.
Yeah, I could see that, man. And also, was it hard to admit it? Like, were there people that you had conversations with and that sort of thing? Like, I couldn't imagine having to decide that I have to stop doing comedy, especially at a point in your life when still physically you're very capable and everything. Like, that's a unique decision.
Yeah, well, you know, for me, actually, it was kind of I wouldn't say a knee-jerk reaction. I was going to say earlier, my wife wanted me to retire the night I won the belt. When I fought in LA against Rocco, she was like, babe, women, you give them a little bit of jewelry and they want to, you know, shut it down. She said, when you win, are you going to retire? I said, if I lose, I'll retire. If I win, you're out of your goddamn mind. I said, that's when we start actually making some decent money. Are you fucking crazy? Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, we're going to Newcastle if we win.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Going to Newcastle. So she wanted me to retire then. And I carried on. I had a few more fights. And then I was flying up to New York. I was going to record the podcast, Believe You Me, with my buddy Louis J. Gomez, I better say. And I was on the plane, and I'm watching a movie called Journeyman. And it's, which incidentally I auditioned for years ago. Pricks never gave me the part. But I'm very good amateurs, right? They didn't know what they were doing.
None of them know.
They don't know. Anyway, I'm watching the movie. It's a very, very good movie, Journeyman, if you get a chance. And it's about a boxer that was a world champion. And he gets hurt in the ring, and after he wins the fight, and after the fight, he collapses at home, and he's got severe brain damage and this and that, and he doesn't know what's going on. He puts his baby son inside a tumble dryer in the washing because it's making noise. He's just messing up. He doesn't know what's going on. Yeah. And it's a very emotional movie, and it pulled on my heartstrings. And I thought to myself, do you know what? This isn't worth it. You know, I mean, I've got, you know, acting career going on. I got my podcast. I do a lot of work for the UFC. I got, you know, a chain of gyms in the UK.
You have a life.
I got a lot of stuff going on. And yeah, I enjoy fighting, and it's a part of me. It's part of who I am. It's in my DNA. But you can't do it forever. And it's unfair to my family and to my wife to put them through that stress when everybody knows that my vision's impaired. Yeah. You know, so I was like, okay, maybe now's the time.
Now, what if they came out with... I mean, I can't even really imagine that, bro. It had to be kind of like...
It was actually a pretty easy decision.
Really?
Yeah, because I watched it, and as I say, it actually brought a tear to my eyes. I say, it's a great movie, and the actor in question...
One of your eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one of them, you know. But it was easy. I thought, I agree with the message of this movie, and it struck a chord with me. I was like, you know what? Now's the time.
Now's the time.
Yeah.
And do you think, like, do you start to notice then, because I'm just curious about, like, the spirit of fighting, like, then what it is inside of somebody that gives them, like, that, you know, that ability, like,
Well, it depends. It depends what you're doing it for. You know what I mean? Like for me, I left school at 16 in England. I came from a family, love my mum and dad dearly, but you know they weren't together, and you know
It was a tough environment.
it was a very, very tough environment. As I said, I left school at 16, went straight into dead end jobs, working minimum wage in factories. One thing, what shitty job, the shittiest jobs you could ever fucking imagine.
Really?
You name it, I've done them all.
Yeah.
You know, oh God.
What were you doing over there?
Anything and everything, you know, driving a forklift, working in a slaughterhouse, fucking packing furniture, you know, nothing, door-to-door sales.
What did you sell?
Yeah, double glazing.
For donuts?
No, double glazing windows. That's what we call it.
Brother.
Donuts. Yeah.
Dude, you have much more success selling double glazed donuts in the US, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Yeah, no, double glazed windows. I never sold a lot of them.
It sounds like a scam, is it?
You know, it's like modern windows, you know, double glazed windows.
What were you guys using before that?
Just fucking single.
Oh, come on, brother.
Single glazed.
Fucking unbelievable.
No, everyone has double glazed windows. You probably have double glazed windows. And anyway, so I was trying to get people to do that. And I was never selling much.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were selling like soap or something like that.
Back then I was way bigger. I was way bigger, yeah. And I had a shaved head. And you know, and I was and my boss was like, "You're not selling very much, Michael." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you think you're being a bit intimidating at the door? Because you're a pretty loud, big person." I'm like, "No, I don't think so."
Yeah, who's gonna buy a glass window from a?
Sign up. So anyway, I did all these shitty jobs, and then I'd met my wife and we had 2 kids, and I was working as a quality control inspector at a furniture factory. And my boss there, great guy, nice guy, very intelligent. And we would chat away. And he used to say to me, he'd say, "Michael, you're a smart kid. Is this what you want to do for the rest of your life?"
Wow.
I was like, fuck no. He said, "Well, have a think about what you want to do. Have a think and then come back to me and talk to me." He said, "Because you don't want to do this for the rest of your life." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Anyway, a few days passed.
So it was some guy, not to interject. Like,
yeah, sure, no, please.
But I'm curious about this. So it was like it was actually a guy who stopped you and said...
It was a guy, he was my foreman at work.
And you really trusted this guy. You really
I
valued his opinion. You looked up to him,
Yeah, he was a nice guy, you know.
No, it's interesting how when you're young, especially if you're a young man, like, you know, I didn't have like a lot of like father figures or anything like that around. So any man that would give me like attention or like show actual interest, that wasn't a damn pedophile or something. I don't know if you have those in your country, but...
No, unfortunately we do. I think they're universally around.
We should make them fight each other, shouldn't
100%. I'd buy that pay-per-view.
I'd sanction that one, dude. I'd call me Kellerman in that one, bro.
Yes. You know?
But so... I can just imagine like the effect that has, like when some guy like shows you interest and is like, "Here, have a think about what you want to do," because obviously it resonated with you.
Yeah, for me, I was always, I don't know, I always had a problem with authority figures.
Right.
I was always that kid. I had too much to say. I was a loudmouth. I was always getting in trouble. You know, I was an idiot. I was a dick. You know, and this guy, he knew how to speak to me. He was a nice guy. Anyway, and he said that to me. He said, "You need to think about what you want to do." And fortunately, the job didn't require much brain power. So it gave me a lot of time to think. And I thought about it. And I went up to him one day. And I said, "Mick, I've decided what I want to do." And he put down his clipboard and he came over and he's like, "What is it?" And he thought I was going to say, "Okay, so I'm going to go to school. I'm going to study to be this, that, and the other." And I said, and this is 2003. I said, "I'm going to be a professional fighter." And he was like, "Oh my God, this guy's a fucking moron." I thought you were smart. I thought, "What do you mean you're going to be a professional fighter?" I'm like, "Mick, I used to do a lot of martial arts when I was a kid." Okay. And he's like, and he's looking at me like, "What are you talking about? What is this?"
He's like, "I gave this fucktard 3 weeks to think about this. And this is what he shows up with."
Exactly. And I'm like, "No, seriously, Mick, trust me. I was very good." And I brought in this old kickboxing video of me kickboxing. He's like, "Oh yeah, all right." You know, they said that was just fueled off aggression though. There was no real technique
violence, brother.
And the guy sucked. And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but you know." Anyway, so I quit work. I moved to another city, started training, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I got into it.
But now the thing inside of you, do you notice that whatever there's something inside of a fighter or something inside of someone who wants to fight? Do you notice any of whatever that energy or that vibe is that transfers that's still in you, but you notice that it goes into other things in your life now, like?
Well, I'm still very ambitious,
right?
You know, and that's where it came from. For me, I wanted to fight because
that's what I'm trying to get at. I
wanted to
guess
give my children a better life,
right?
You know what I mean? I was sick of just scraping by. You know what I mean? Living paycheck to paycheck. Still having to borrow money off my mum and dad, and they didn't have any money.
Right.
My mum's disabled. She had polio as a kid. She can hardly walk. She's got no money on her own.
Yeah.
But still, I was having to go to her and say, Mum, lend me £5 so I can put some petrol in the car so I can get to work, you know? And just sick of living life like that. And I was like, fuck this. You know, I want better, and I want my children to have better.
Yeah.
So that's why I started fighting, and now the same ambitions there, because I'm not fighting anymore.
Right.
But now it's even harder, because now the spoiled little bastards have got accustomed to a lifestyle, and I'm going to keep them in it. You know what I mean? My wife's like, we got to get a brand new Range Rover soon. I'm like, oh shit, Dana, I need a fight.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking, but
no, he's like, so-and-so needs braces. You're like, I'll knock them straight.
Oh, shit. So you know, the ambition and the fire is still very much there.
So so looking back now, do you think that the thing that fueled you to fight was actually ambition, or was it
money?
It was money.
100%.
Right.
That was the reason. It was to make money.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time, the sport, it was a niche sport, you know. Nobody knew what MMA was in England.
Yeah.
Probably 2003, not many people in America did.
Oh, a lot of people still think if you say I'm getting into MMA, they think it's homosexuality. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, no.
You know, maybe Brendan Schaub would.
Yeah,
but
it's wrestling. Yeah.
No, but nobody knew back then.
Right.
So it seemed crazy. It seemed like I was having delusions of grandeur. I know that a lot of people like.
People think you're crazy if you.
Well,
if you
people
say
thought
that.
I was being very selfish as well.
Really?
You know, I know some friends came to me and said, Michael, you got 2 children. What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm trying to give them a fucking life. And they were like, yeah, but you're going to quit work. You're going to move to another city. And
you're like, I'm watching fucking Cinderella Man on my phone right now, all right? Will you give me a damn break?
Cinderella Man fucking did it for me.
Oh, bro.
Brought me to tears.
Dude, anytime I need a movie, I watch Cinderella Man, no
When I
doubt.
flew out.
Fuck Max Baer, bro.
Fuck him. Within, what was it? Like 14 months of making that decision, I was flying over to Las Vegas for the Ultimate Fighter trials. And I watched Cinderella Man on the plane, and I was like, oh, and my mate that was with, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. So, are you fucking crying? I'm like, no, seriously, just got something in my eye. So yeah, Cinderella.
Yeah, like emotion, you little bastard.
I was like, leave me alone.
Apparently, airplane movies like a fuel
I know.
Joel.
I always cry in an airplane. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it gets me every time. Sons of bitches. I get really into it.
Yeah. Would there be any fight that you would come back out for? Do you think, or? I guess
not really. I mean, do I miss it? Of course. I mean, I loved it. It was a fantastic phase of my life, and had some amazing experiences, traveled the world. And, you know, I joke, I speak to Jason Perillo, my boxing coach, all the time. I just texted him the other day. He said, how you doing? I said, fuck. Regular life is boring.
Oh.
You know, he's like, that's why I drink. I said, yeah, me too. I said, shit, I'm doing this whole sober October bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
It's only the 1st of October, so fuck it. You know, so that never lasted.
Yeah, Rogan's got everyone infected with this bullshit.
Yeah, bollocks. Well, my coach, I said this to my coach, to Perillo, and he said, it's like Frank Sinatra said. He said, what? So you wake up, you don't smoke, you don't drink. You wake up in the morning, that's the best you're going to feel all day. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm getting a bottle of wine.
You're like, I'm going to do something. Yeah. It's noon. I'm drinking in a parking lot. Do they have a lot of, like, in the U.S., everything, like, I feel like it becomes, like, a problem, you know? And, like, a lot of our audience is like, you know, young dudes that struggle with stuff and have problems, right? Which is great, because I've been one of those guys in my life, and like, it's nice to be able to talk and share. It's nice to be able to hear, you know, from a guy who, you know, wanted to make his life better and saw an opportunity of fighting, you know, over furniture for sure.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I mean, I always say this, and I do believe this. I used to like going at my friend Jacko. He lives in Australia now. I used to go on, you know, because he'd say to me, it's easy for you, Michael. You can fight. I said, no, it wasn't that easy. It took me a long time to sit and do a lot of soul searching. Everyone has a talent. Everyone's good at something, right? But you got to figure out what that is. And you got to be realistic with what that is. And once you figure out what that talent is and what you're best at, then you think, right, what can I do with that talent? And where could it take me? What's a possible career path? But what are the steps that I need to take to put that into motion? You know,
right.
No one starts at the top. I didn't start in the fucking UFC. My first fight was for nothing. My first pro fight, I didn't get paid a penny in some shitty sports hall in the middle of nowhere. But that's the groundwork. That's what you got to do.
Right.
You know, and whether it's fighting, whether it's being a comedian, whether design, whatever it is, everyone has a talent. You just got to figure out what that is, harness that, work on it, and put in that work. and be hard-nosed about it. You know? Like
people don't want to do that a lot of times.
They don't. They want the shortcuts. Oh, well, this doesn't work.
They want the show. They just want the finish.
That's not how it works. That's not. Nobody that's successful. You know, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's one or two examples, but nobody walks right into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe Jesus Christ only.
There you go.
You know, because God was his dad.
He's the superstar. Yeah. There you go. He was born into the family. He was born into it. He had it easy. He had a leg up in life.
Was it now? This is super interesting, man, because like to sit and ask yourself, like, what is it that I'm good at, and then where do I want to go with it, and then the steps. How do I get there?
Yep.
It's really a simple plan.
Well, it is, but it took me a long time to figure out that it was fighting, and that's what I was known for. Even in like where I was known as being a bit of a tough kid and a bit of a tearaway, you know. But still, it took me a long time.
And was it crazy when you first thought like, oh, it's fighting? Was that crazy to you? Because that sounds.
It was crazy, and I know when I quit that work.
Yeah.
And I was telling everyone on the shop floor, all the other lads, I'm like, yeah, I'm moving down to Nottingham. I'm going to be a professional fighter. They're all like, they're all like, I know what they're all talking about me behind my back. Yeah. My friends in my hometown were talking about me behind my back.
Right.
Because a couple of others would come up and tell me, shit-staring bastards that they were, such and such was saying, you know, you're living in a dream world and you're abandoning your kids. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You know, but...
dude, get on the line, brother. We need more beef jerky.
Jesus Christ, why are you going to throw me under a bus to my wife? No, but there was a lot of that. You know, but
that's fearless,
it's never
man.
Easy for anyone. Well, you got to take a chance.
Right.
And like I said to my dad, he came over down to my house to talk to me about it. Because my dad was always very supportive throughout my entire martial arts career. When I was a kid, he used to drive me all over the country. He'd drive me down to Nottingham, which from where I was from, it's about a 2.5 hour drive there.
Nottingham from Robin Hood? That's the same place?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. He'd drive me down there on a Wednesday and a Sunday, 5 hour round trip for an hour and a half of training to get the best training, you know?
Oh, wow.
And
so he was really into what, supporting you, or was he really into the fighting?
He was really into sports. He was really into his children doing sports.
He was.
He'd do whatever he could to support us. And my dad, you know, again, partly the reason why I do this today is because of my dad. He was always very supportive in that side of things. And he came to see me and he said, well, what are you doing? And I said, well, I don't want to be that guy sitting there at 40, 50 years old at a bar saying, I wish I'd have done this.
Yeah.
So you got to take a chance, you know, and guess what? Those shitty dead-end jobs, there's plenty of them you can get.
They'll still be there.
They'll still be there. People still need fucking settees put on the back of a lorry or...
Bacon.
Yeah.
Or whatever else. If you're working at a bacon place, I used to clean out wishing wells. Dude, you know, people throw money into wishing wells, you know? You don't think somebody's got to get in there and fucking clean them out, right? So, because most people just throw garbage and recyclers. I found bloody weapons in there, a sword.
I thought they just leave the money down there.
Nuh-uh.
Really? Did you put them in your pocket?
Oh, I took what I could.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, when you're a
without
kid,
it being obvious.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to climb back
Only
out.
Silver ones.
If you got all the money, it's hard to climb back out.
Exactly.
But
dude, I used to work in a slaughterhouse. I was a slaughterman.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the bacon. What kind of stuff were you guys killing in there?
Sheep and cows,
oh, Christ.
Which I don't really want to get into because, you know, in this modern day and age, we have a lot of vegans out there, you know.
Yeah, but still, dude.
It was a phase in my life I'm not proud of.
Well, look, bro.
I'm an animal lover, but yeah, so I was doing a lot of shit.
And would you fight them to knock them out, or what would you do?
Well, that wouldn't be a smart idea because honestly, I know you might drive past them and see them in a field. The cows are big fucking creatures, man. They're big. Yeah. I wouldn't advise that, no.
Dude, I saw a cow get hit by lightning one time. Absolutely unbelievable. I saw a Doberman jump out of a truck on
Hold on, you saw a cow get hit by lightning?
Get hit by lightning.
What happened? Totally fine.
No.
Oh, explode?
Its innards literally shot out of its sides like in straight lines. Dude, they busted a man hiding. He had killed an animal and was hiding from the police inside of its body one time on the outside of our town.
Hold on, say that again?
He had cut into an animal, right?
Like Star Wars.
I guess like
Star Wars and hid inside the cow.
And hid inside the cow's body.
Yeah, it's creative, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
And it took him a while to find him, too. So I guess pretty good.
When I was a kid, I was getting chased off the cops and I led on top of a wall. I thought it was a good hiding place at the time. I guess I'm talking about when I was like 12, they were chasing us and we're climbing over a garden fence, and I thought I'll just lie nice and still on the wall. And the cop walked up with the torch. He goes, "What are you doing? I can see you." I'm like, "Oh shit, I guess it wasn't the best hiding place."
So not good at hide and seek. At least you narrowed down your sports.
Yeah,
right
but
there.
You know. There wasn't a cow around.
Yeah.
If there had been, I'd have been.
Oh, you'd have been in there.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, you'd have been in there.
Yeah.
We have some great calls that came in from some of our listeners, some videos and audio. So we'll put on these headphones if you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just whenever. And
okay. Are we going to speak to them live, or are we just going to hear them?
Just going to hear them.
Hey, what's up, Theo? This is Gut Rocker. I have a question for Michael Bisping. Recently, he had a situation where his daughter threw a party at their house, and the young man who stole stuff from the house, Michael seemed to have a lot of compassion for the guy, even though the guy stole stuff from his house. My question basically is, did he get in trouble as a youth to make it where he wants to give people second chances?
Yeah, you a second chance guy when it comes to the kids, or what?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, you listen to my podcast. Yeah, my daughter had, I don't want to get into it too much. She had some friends over, and we were out of town, and her friends invited some other friends, and some older kids ended up showing up, and some little shit, stole all my watches, stole jewelry of my wife's, jewelry she had on our wedding day and stuff like that. So yeah, I obviously wasn't happy
Brave
about
kid.
it. Fucking asshole. So I got him on the phone, and he's talking shit to me down the phone.
No.
He's like, you're through to the main man and all this. I'm like, dude, listen, you were man enough to take my stuff. I don't want to call the cops. I don't want you to get a criminal record, You're a kid. You've made a mistake. You're a fucking idiot. Come back to my house.
Yeah.
Give me my stuff back. And I wanted to talk to the kid and give him some advice. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, when I was a kid, I was a bit of a tearaway. I did a lot of shit I regret.
And it was easier to do back then, too. I think things were a little bit more erroneous back then.
Yeah, maybe in that day and age. But yeah, he didn't take my advice. He
He didn't come back.
No, he didn't. He was an asshole. He talked a lot of shit, and then he got his mom involved for some reason.
Wow.
But whatever.
What a tough guy.
Yeah,
And
real tough guy. Yeah. Big hard guy gets his mom to fight his battles eventually.
Did you get? It's like the French, man. I can't stand the French. I've never been a big fan.
Oh, really?
Did you?
I mean, the French get a hard rap, and the French and the English don't necessarily have the best relationship, but I don't have much against the French.
Really?
Nah.
The French, bruh?
The French. I mean, my sister's. Is she engaged? I don't know what she is. She's with a Frenchman.
Who isn't with a Frenchman?
She's with a Frenchman, Oliver. Great guy.
Yeah.
Nice guy. Doesn't say much.
Yeah.
Quiet, but, each to their own.
Every now and then one sneaks over into goodness, into the good side of your heart. But the French, I've always had a tough time with them. I mean, I do like the movie Ratatouille. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
Oh, it's classic. It's on my... So, I have it right there. Watch it every day. Watch it every day.
What about Bridges of Madison County? I want to go over some tearjerkers with you. Have you seen
What
that
is
one?
that? I have no idea.
Clint Eastwood, man. It's an early Clint Eastwood, Meryl Streep movie.
Okay. I do like a bit of Clint Eastwood.
Do you?
Of course.
Watch it with the missus, man. Watch it with the missus.
All right.
You'll love it.
What's
It's
it
good.
called?
Bridges of Madison County.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
phenomenal, man. You'll love it.
Very quickly, did you get the stuff back?
Yeah, we got most of it. We didn't get my wife's jewelry from the wedding day, and they took some purses and shit like that, but whatever. And we went to the cops. Well, my wife went to the cops. I didn't want to go to the cops. I'm like, but
Yeah.
she was pissed off about the wedding stuff.
I'm
Obviously,
sure.
very sentimental. I said, well, listen, babe, whatever you want to do, I'll support you. So she went to the cops. Cops didn't do a damn thing.
Man.
Whatever. There you go.
I miss the old
All
days,
good.
and that's speaking of Clint Eastwood. It'd be nice if you could go back in the old days and handle it yourself.
Yeah, once upon a time I'd have thought like that, but not these days. I'm a bit of a pussycat these days, if I'm honest. you
Really?
know? But when I was a kid, for sure. That's
You're
that
not
would've
drinking milk out of a bowl, are you?
Been, yeah, I'm not drinking milk out of a bowl. I don't know what that would affect.
That was Brendan
would
Schaub's
have.
finishing move, I think, in the
Who's
ring.
Brendan Schaub?
That was no, I'm joking. I'm giving Brendan a
When
hard time.
did he finish a fight?
Oh, come on.
No, I'm joking.
He's gonna be so angry at me for
Oh, God.
But we have a new podcast we're starting up soon called The King and the Sting. So
Oh, nice.
No,
very
I'm-
good. Very good.
I'm happy to work with him. He's a tough guy, man. He's gone through a lot of different things in his own life, just getting
Yep.
into different stuff, football, fighting,
Sure.
and now into business. I mean, he doesn't give up anyway. He's ambitious.
Yeah, good for him.
Did you have any extra fight questions before we got to any other calls?
They'll come to me.
Okay.
I got another call.
Cool.
Theo, this is Tyler in Florida. Give me a call. I got a question for Michael the Count Bisping. On the podcast, we talk a lot about the dark arts, boy. I was wondering, with his history, if he's ever come across a couple times when somebody's telling him he's drinking too many bevies, couple too many puppers. If he ever had a moment during his fight career where maybe he was drinking a little too much,
Bit too
had
much.
to rear it in. Have a good one, gang.
Gang, man. A little too much Pims. You ever had too much Pims over there?
No, not too much Pims.
Or beer, I mean, or
yeah,
whatever.
no, for sure. Yeah, so here's the thing, and I think it's a common misconception because I had that GSP press conference where I showed up and I was hungover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people kind of think that, you know, that's how I go through my life all the time. I'm not a heavy drinker. I'm not. But I was in Vegas and GSP didn't want to fight for like 9 fucking months until his balls got big enough.
Very French of him.
Very French.
Now, that's not the Canadian part of him.
No,
That's
for
the
sure.
French part of him.
I agree. I sign off on that.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm in Vegas. I'm not fighting for 9 months. I'm a grown-ass man.
Right.
What do people do in Vegas? I was with my manager and we ended up having a few drinks. And then, you know, a few drinks, the senses get a bit slurred and, you know, you make some bad decisions. You end up drinking too much.
Next thing you know, you're Scottish.
Yeah, exactly. So I showed up and they made a big thing out of that. And I just owned it. You know, I wasn't going to deny it like a little schoolboy. No, I wasn't drinking. I was like, yeah, so what? I'm in Vegas. Shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
you know?
And
so now everybody, I think they
want you to be the drinker now.
yeah,
in
I
a
guess.
way.
But when I was training for a fight, I was very, very disciplined.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. You know, I'm one of the boys. You know, that's how I grew up. And after a fight, I'll party. And if I win a fight, I'm celebrating. If I lose the fight, I'm drowning my sorrows. I'm still going to enjoy myself. I've got people who have flown in from all over the world. You know, I'm not going to be a little diva and go, well, I lost my fight, so
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Yeah,
I'll be in my hotel room.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
I'll
Don't
email
talk
you.
to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, these guys have come out here to support me. So fuck it, win or lose. You know, we're going to go out and enjoy ourselves and have a great time. You know, a night we'll never forget. But yeah, no, I'm not a heavy drinker.
Yeah. I think people want. I think sometimes people hear one thing and then they want you to be that.
Yeah,
you know?
well,
they want you to be the guy that goes straight from the pub to the ring. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not a, you know,
It's not realistic.
you wouldn't be successful.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, of course.
How technical is it in the ring?
Technical?
Yeah.
Very technical. But, you know, it took me a long time to figure out that this is the most important thing.
Wow.
You know, physically, I was always very good. And I was always able, you know, to overpower people or whatever. And against 95% of the fighters out there, that'll work. If you're good enough and you can get by on your physical attributes, but the truly elite, the best fighters, you know, you won't beat the best of the best like that. Like, I used to try and get into the most worked up state I could. I used to try and psych myself up in my hotel, in my locker room, you know. Every time when I fight, I always go and I close my eyes, find a quiet corner, and I think about the road I've been on, and I think about the journey I've been on, and all the sacrifices I've made, and how I've made it to this point. And if I've made it this far, then I can make it one more step. I overcame that first fight for no money in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
and the goalposts move every time. And I'm, you know, I think about that. But then I used to think,
That's
okay,
amazing.
And then I used to think, right now I'm gonna work myself up and get in an angry state of mind. But my coach Jason Perillo, that I worked for the last few years out here, he taught me that that's not the way to be. You know, the great fighters aren't like that. And if you think about it, if you're in a frantic state of mind, you're not the best version of yourself at anything.
Right.
Whether you're a comedian, whether you're working as a technician, just whatever you're doing. If you're pissed off,
Yeah.
how are you
can't.
putting your best foot forward? You're not. And the same goes in fighting, even more so in fighting. When you're competing against a world-class opponent that's trying to take your fucking head off, you don't want to be all angry and emotional. That doesn't help. You want to be cool, calm, collected, in the moment, reading, seeing everything, nice and calm, a clear head. And it took me a long time to figure that out. But, you know,
Can you know that's interesting? It's like, yeah, it just goes back to like never take action when you're angry. It's like
100%.
it could be anything, whether you're sending an email or whether you're about
Yep.
to compete in something. Could you notice if you got into the ring and you were like, damn, I'm a bit off skew this time a bit?
Well, I mean, as I say, I used to try and make myself be like that.
Right.
Towards the end, I mean, you know, I hate to keep going on about it. When I won the belt against Luke Rockhold, you could see how calm my state of mind was. When I walked into the ring and we went up and, you know, you got to touch
I think
gloves.
everyone was happy to see Luke Rockhold lose the
Yeah,
belt.
I think they were. But we went to touch gloves and he's like, no. I said, no touch. I said, I'll touch you in a second, motherfucker. Right? And that's just an example of it that I was so calm, you know, to be able to crack a joke and
Right.
be witty at that moment. No touch, I'll touch you in a second,
there you
motherfucker.
go.
Okay, and I walked back smiling and shit, you know what I mean? And then I had the best performance of my life.
Right.
You know, so it just helps on every level. I mean, as you said, you never want to send an email or respond to anything if you're angry. Take a minute, take some deep breaths, and then
Yeah, be your
it's
best
actually
self.
not that bad. You know,
Yeah.
when you take a step back from it all, take some deep breaths, whatever it is,
Anything. It really isn't.
you know.
It really, really isn't, man. Yeah.
Unless it really is, and then you're fucked.
Yeah.
Taking a deep breath won't help.
That's
you know,
true.
if you're dying.
Especially if you're drowning.
Yeah, you know, don't take a deep breath.
You're fucked,
Do
bro.
not take a deep breath. Yeah.
What do you have, Nick?
So I did think of one. I read someplace that you started, and this could be bullshit, jiu-jitsu when you were 8 years old.
Yep.
What was the level how did you get into that, hear about it, and what was the level of training in jiu-jitsu in like the late 80s in England?
Yeah, so when I say jiu-jitsu, I mean Japanese jiu-jitsu. So Japanese jiu-jitsu is the oldest, first ever martial art, and all of the martial arts were taken from it.
Right.
So judo took the throws and made them better. Karate took the striking and heightened it. Brazilian jiu-jitsu took the groundwork, the submission side of things, and obviously made it way better. And in Japanese jiu-jitsu, as I say, you do everything, and you do a lot of weapons training, nunchakus, swords, all that shit. You do everything.
You nunchucking out there.
Yeah, a little bit. You know,
Fucking
I had to hit myself in the head more than often,
sure.
you know. But so I loved it. I was obsessed with that, but it was very different. It was Japanese jiu-jitsu, but realistically, Japanese jiu-jitsu was mixed martial arts, but it just was, that term didn't exist, you know. So in 92, I was doing what we call knockdown sport budo. You can find footage of it online. If you Google it, you can find footage of me as a young kid.
Budo, B-U-D-O?
B-U-D-O, knockdown sport, but KSBO.
Wow.
Put in Michael Bisping, KSBO. You see me, I'm like 14 or something, taking on grown men, and bare knuckle, you know, but we didn't know it was mixed martial arts. That term didn't exist.
Right.
And we'd have like 4 or 5 fights in one night, you know, but I was training Japanese jiu-jitsu, but it was everything in there. So
would you ever do a tag team match?
Here we go.
Oh,
There's me
wow.
on the right. You can see, look at the stands. You can see it's so old school. Look at the pants. Hold on.
Wow.
This is not the most impressive one. There's better ones, but
It's
I
still
know.
fascinating,
Hold on,
though.
yeah. Let's see.
It's you on the right.
Yeah, hold on. Is there another? Yeah, that's me with the dark red. Hold on. There was no headshots because we were bare fist, but it always gets me down. End up on top. There's another one. If you want to see that other one, hold on, where that one there. Watch this. You'll laugh your head off at this. This shows I was always an asshole. Maybe skip forward to the start. Yeah, here we go. Watch when we. Oh, go back a little. Hold on. No, forget it. Whatever. It starts and I just kick the guy immediately.
Really?
He goes to shake hands and I kick him right off his feet. Yeah. I'm like, dude, the referee said start.
Oh,
you know,
damn.
I'm sorry, my bad. He goes, whoa, see ya.
What? Let's go to a couple more questions. I know you got to get out of here soon, Michael.
Yeah, I'm actually okay.
You're doing okay?
If you're okay.
Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay,
it's
cool.
fun.
Thank you,
It's
man.
good, man. Yeah,
very happy
good.
to have you.
I had another one actually. So the eye injury originally happened with Vitor. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you ever think about after he got popped for steroids, like any type of litigious things? Because I mean, he fucked your career for life.
Yeah, you know, you can't think like that. At the end of the day, you step in there, you know, we know what we're signing up for, you know. Yeah, he was on steroids, he was on TRT, he was on all kinds of shit, but it is what it is. You sign up for these things, you know.
Have you seen him since and looked him in the eyes?
I don't think I have actually. You know, we've talked a bit of shit back and forth online. Yeah, I'm not keen on Vitor Belfort. So yeah, no, I got a detached retina in that fight, and I didn't know it took a long time before I even realized. And I first started getting symptoms when I was in restaurants, when it was dark lighting. I'd be in a restaurant and I'd have my hand here. I'd be like, I couldn't see my fingers. I'm like, should I be able to see my hand there? And I was like, yeah. And anyway, this went on for a while, and it got to a point where my hand was here and I couldn't see my fingers.
Wow.
So I looked it up online, and it, you know, all signs pointed to a detached retina. So I called up this doctor that turned out to be very close by. I said, hi, yeah. I said, I think I've got a detached retina. He said, why do you say that? And I told him, he said, shit, you need to get in here ASAP. So I went in, they repaired that. I had a surgery. They repaired the detached retina. I was training for my next fight, which was going to be against Mark Munoz. And I'd done some press in LA, and I'm driving back. And then if you imagine curtains closing on a window, and then just the curtain's not quite closed and the little bit in the middle, that's all I could see. I had a black curtain either side and a little bit of vision down the middle. I was like, oh shit. So I called my eye doctor. Next day we did surgery again. They said what happened was I was very unlucky. It just happens sometimes. Scar tissue developed on the retina, and it causes the retina to redetach. So that redetached, they repaired it, and then I got glaucoma. I was walking.
Jesus.
This was the worst day of my
It's
life.
a senior citizen's disease.
Yeah,
usually.
exactly.
I think it is, isn't
normally.
Or potheads.
I'm walking the dog, and I started getting a headache, and I get back to my house 20 minutes later, and the headache's so bad I'm laying face down on the floor, just facing the floor, screaming. The headache was so bad. So my wife calls my eye doctor. She says, he says, I'm in surgery right now. Go to this other doctor. She gives us a number. We drive down to see him, and they check the pressure in your eye. So your eye is, if you touch it, it's wet. There's moisture in there, which is constantly going in to keep the eye wet. And there's a drain in there, so the water comes out. So it's a constant cycle of fresh water or some kind of liquid. I don't know if it's fresh water for all those doctors looking at me saying, this guy's a fucking moron. I'm sure it's not fresh water that you can drink, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, Bisping ain't doing surgery after this.
So anyway, so that drain was blocked.
Yeah.
So it's like a balloon on the end of a tap. If you're filling it with water, what's going to happen?
It's going to pop.
It's going to pop. And that's what glaucoma is. So I went in there and they checked the pressure on my eye. And a normal person's pressure is between 9 and 20.
Oh, wow.
And mine was like 97 or something.
Yours
And
like 48 PSI.
and they were like, that's the highest we've ever seen
Oh,
it.
my God.
You need to go to this other hospital. So I went there. They tried to clear the blockage with a laser. And then they give me some pills to go home. So I went home. I'm still in pain. These pills are making me drowsy, affecting the pain a little bit. I'm laid in bed and I'm still screaming in pain. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm still doing this. And my wife's like, I'm calling your eye doctor.
It's supposed to be better by now.
Oh, of course,
Feeling better, at least some
the
relief.
symptoms start at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Fuck
That was
lasers,
2
bro.
o'clock. Yeah, fuck those lasers. So my doctor calls, so my wife calls my eye doctor, and he's like blown away that I'm still in pain. So we went to Pasadena. They did an emergency surgery. That kind of fucked up. When I came round, they had to undo the surgery and redo it again. So yeah, I just got really unlucky with the eye.
You got bad luck in it.
I just got bad luck, man. What are you gonna do?
Do you have a next now? Is that the fighter who with the he has like an image where it's like his
logo.
his logo image is like
He's talking about Dan Henderson.
You're talking about Dan Henderson.
Oh, yeah. What is that guy? A cool guy?
Why are you gonna go there, bud?
Huh?
Why are you gonna go there?
Oh,
why are you gonna bring that up? Why are you gonna try?
I thought it was the
why are you
same
gonna try
guy.
and mock me? Okay, let's talk about every time you've been knocked out. Let's talk about this guy's image where he's floating above your unconscious body and about to land another blow. What do you think of that,
Heartless,
Michael?
brother.
What do you think?
I think he was about to bring it back. How you got that one back and ended up beating. Dan
Yeah,
Henderson.
no, I
the
did,
most
but that
French
isn't
thing
where
ever.
he was going. But you know, it's
No,
okay.
I
It's
don't-
okay. Throw shade. It's fine. I can take it. I can take it.
Look, let's make
I'm not
fun
the one with the fucking mullet, so we're good.
That's a good point, dude. Look, let's just make fun of Brendan Schaub.
Yeah,
again. Can we
exactly.
do that?
No,
I'm joking.
No, I know.
I'm joking.
Um,
No, and we don't have to put that part in.
No, you could. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, edit that out. Edit that out where he mentioned me being knocked out.
No, I didn't
people
mean
have
that.
seen it.
I
You go
meant that
online
it's fucked
and
up.
see it real quick.
That's the guy who used the logo from that punch.
Yeah, it is what it is. Good for him. God bless him. You know,
Ugh.
it is what it is. You
It's
know,
just dirt, though.
Nah, it's part of history. Like people always mention that to me. They say, "Oh, does it bother you when somebody mentions like your losses or whatever?" I'm like, no.
Does it feel a little bit good, like to be able to say, to take that hit and now you're still alive, you're still functioning, you're still killing it? Does it make you feel a little bit like a
It's
fucking
like
champ?
that fight happened at UFC 100, right? And I went into it. I talked a lot of shit, as I always do, trying to sell the fight and generate interest. And yeah, I got knocked out in the second round on like the most watched UFC event ever. So it was bad luck. But for me, it was part of history. It was part of my journey. It's part of made me who I am. I went away from that and I became a better fighter. I learned more about myself. I mean, when you're kicking ass and you're winning fights all the time, that's great and that's what you want to do. But you don't really learn much about yourself. When you get knocked out, when you lose badly like that, it takes a lot to come back. I remember Joe Rogan saying, Michael Bisping's done. Fighters don't come back from knockouts like that. And the fact I did come back and I came back strong, ended up becoming the champion, I was proud of myself.
Yeah.
So for me, there's no shame there whatsoever.
It's part of the journey.
It's part of the journey. It's part of history.
Yeah.
Being a little bitch about it isn't going to change anything. I
true.
embrace it. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of every one of my fights, win or loss. So that's just the way it goes.
Is there a fight that you could go back in time that you wish that you would do? Is there one that sticks out in your head
that I could do differently?
or just that you could do again, no matter the outcome?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, knocking out Luke Rockhold in the first round, I could do that every day of my life.
Yeah, I think a lot of people could.
That was fun. The GSP fight, I wish I could redo that one again. Going into that one, I had the best training camp of my life. And it sounds braggadocious, but my knockout power was out. I put a few guys to sleep in the training camp, not meaning to do it and stuff. I had the best camp. And then the final...
Snow White, they were calling
on
him.
the final day of training, I fucking tear all the cartilage in my ribs. I get taken down with this guy, like his life depended on it. I land on the floor and I knew instantly, I just felt the rip. And the pain was excruciating. I spent all week icing it and getting massage and all this. I couldn't move too well, but I wasn't going to pull out the fight. Again, as a fighter, you think you can still win. You know,
Right.
yeah, so what? I got an injury, you know. But it is
And
what it is.
especially in your story, like in your story, some turmoil is not going to shut down the car.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you still got to turn up and fight. You know, yeah. Is it perfect?
Right,
No.
but especially look, even in your own history, like for you, like a bump in the road that's how the road is.
Exactly. That's just the way it goes. This is the hand we're dealt.
Yeah.
Still gonna play. Still gonna sit at the table and play my hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that attitude, man. So many people just don't even have that attitude anymore. That I feel like a lot of times we're just in such a crybaby culture where nobody's just like, this is what it is. Let's move forward. Like
Oh no, for sure, absolutely. You know, I mean, life isn't perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and again, whether it's fighting or whatever it is, you got to play with the hand that you've been dealt and
Yeah.
do the most of it. Do the best you can. You know, so yeah, I guess I've always been like that.
Yeah, dude, that's it's just it's a nice disposition to have, because the opposite of that is this, is getting too much caught in this whining kind of, pointing fingers and blaming universe. You just kind of like put it on.
I hate that attitude. I really do. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get into it all, but the way the world is these days, it pisses me off. You know, I'm glad I grew up in the northwest of England in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because I think in this day and age with cell phones and all the rest of it, I'd be fucked.
Yeah. You definitely would probably have charges pending, I bet.
Probably, yeah.
But no, but I also think that the news makes things a lot worse than things are. I think that people and life is better than actually.
But that's what the news do. They sensationalize everything. They try and make it as bad as possible because that's what sells. Unfortunately, doom and gloom people are attracted to. It's like a car crash. You know, it's terrible. You know, it's tragic, but you got to look at it. And that's what the news sell every day. They sensationalize everything. Unfortunately, you still turn the news on because you want to know what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
But you're seeing the worst sector of society. You're seeing everything that's happened bad amplified by 10 because they want to make it sensational. They want to sell. They want people to watch.
Yeah.
You know, so
What do
you got to
you
be careful
watch?
where you get your news from.
You got to be careful where you get your news from. Agreed. What do you watch? Is there a show that you watch? Are you and the missus watch at the house? Or something?
Right now, what am I watching? Ozark.
Oh yeah, Ozark's good, huh?
Ozark's good. Yeah, I'm liking that. Yeah.
Fucking little bit of low key murder. Everybody's trying to kill
There's a
each
lot of
other.
people dying in that show. For a small town,
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised more isn't going on. There's a lot of people popping up dead in that show.
Dude, where I'm from, like one of the first in our neighborhood, like people used to have when a dog would have babies, people would get out and bet on how many babies the dog was gonna
Okay.
have. So you'd have these fucking people out there just bidding on like, I got 5, I got 5,
Okay,
I got
okay.
7. So people would just bet on how many. It was just kind of like it was kind of the same sort of environment as Ozark a little bit.
Right, okay. Yeah, no, it sounds like it.
Just
really
a little
does.
bit rural and kind
Yeah,
of ridiculous,
yeah.
you know.
So if you were an Ozark, which would you be? You'd be that one family.
I'd
You
be
know
the one
I mean?
family,
The-
yeah.
The family with the blonde girl with the blonde hair.
Yeah.
You'd be the dad.
No, yeah, I'd be the one in prison.
Or the gay brother.
No, brother. I mean, look, I might be in the
Hey,
closet,
listen,
brother.
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
2018, bro. Yeah, be proud of yourself.
You're right, bro.
You got to run with it. Own that shit.
No, bro. It's just part of my journey.
Yeah.
That's it, man. I'm the real Cinderella man. For
Exactly.
sure.
There you go.
It's a different, just Cinderella, I think would be that movie.
Cinderella.
That's it.
What? Cinderella man? No. Cinderella.
Yeah, let's just stop
It's my
there.
favorite.
Yeah. What do we have here? We got a video question here for you.
All right.
Hey Theo, hey Mike, big fan here. Mike, when you knocked out Luke Rockhold, I think that was one of the greatest moments in UFC history, man. My question's for Mike. When you were DJing, what kind of events did you do, and what were those bangers that you dropped, bruh? Thanks for taking my question. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Were you a disc jockey?
I was a professional DJ for about
you
15 years. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like a nightclub DJ. Yeah.
Like, did you also do like weddings and dances? and
Nah,
stuff?
nothing like
Come
that.
on, you
no,
didn't?
I swear to God, no. So I was obsessed with martial arts, and then I was walking home from one of the.
You're a wild dude, man.
I was walking home from one of the shitty dead end jobs that I had.
Yeah.
And I popped into my friend's house, and he had a set of turntables and records and stuff, and we were into dance music, and I just thought that was the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life.
And like, what kind of music was it?
It was,
like,
house music.
Yeah.
House music, techno, stuff like that. And we were all heavy into it up there, And I bought a set of decks, and I'm kind of all or nothing. I'm very obsessive. I'm doing something, I just submerge myself into that. And that's what I did. And I gave up martial arts, and I wanted to be a DJ.
Yeah.
And, I was doing all right. You know, DJ Mikey B, that was my name. But
No. Now, what were some now? Would you play a couple of tracks to kind of get people to
I don't know. But
if you saw a little bit of love going on in the distance, would you drop on a certain track?
No, the places where I DJ, bro, they were hardcore like rave spots. You know what I mean? So
did you have mosh pitting and stuff? Did you ever see that?
Not mosh pits, just people dancing their fucking asses off. You know what I mean? But so I was doing that for a long time, and then I kind of came to the realization that I'm not going to make it big time. I'm not going to be one of these guys getting 20, 30,000 for a set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just about making enough money to live, but it was fun. Fortunately, when I decided I wanted to be a fighter, I was able to train all week and DJ at the weekend. And just scrape by enough money to be able to pay the bills and not get the house repossessed and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Until fighting started making money. You know what I mean? But
and were you fighting like a beat in the beginning? I picture you like dun 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 dun.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like punching and stuff.
No.
An 8 count.
See, nobody knew. Nobody knew like that I was like this one club I DJ'd at was like it was a very well respected dance club, but the place was sketchy, man. It was like for you guys, it was like something straight out of a Guy Ritchie movie. It's like because it was an all nighter, so all the doormen would finish work at 2, but then they'd go to Monroe's afterwards to party. So it was just full of doormen and gangsters and drug dealers and all that kind of shit. The shit that went on that club will make your head spin. I've seen guys come in with samurai swords and hack guys up. I swear to God. I was standing by the front entrance chatting away.
That's a Korean Halloween
and
right
everyone
there.
just started fucking stampeding out the club, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I look and I see a guy with a balaclava and a samurai sword just storming out the club like that. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. And he just hacked someone up on the dance floor.
Did he pay his tab though?
No, they let him in through the fire exit with a samurai sword.
Yeah.
And then another time,
bad security.
terrible. Well, he probably knew the doorman. But another time, because I used to do 2 sets, I'd do like a set from like 2 till 3, and then another set from like 6 till 7 a.m. So I'd have a few hours in between, and we'd just hang out, do whatever. And I went back to do my second set, and my records had been stolen. And back then, I was like, they were my pride and joy, right? Yeah, because a lot of the music was hard to get, very rare and whatever. And they were my babies, my records, man. They've been fucking stolen. But as I say, I used to keep myself to myself. And people didn't know that I was a fighter or whatever. Do you know what I mean? They probably thought, fuck it. Take Mikey B's records. Fuck him, he's a pussy. So they took my records and I was fuming. So I went outside onto the car park and I was going up to every car. I'm like, yo, open your trunk. Open your boot. That's what we call it in England. Open your boot. I want to check. And what for? I said, my records have been stolen. Open your fucking boot. They'd open it up. I'd say, okay, right, not there. Sorry, pal. I had to check. Next car.
Damn, good for
So
you,
I went
man.
through a few. I went through a few cars. I get to this one car. I said, and guy's sitting there smoking a joint.
Oh, he's guilty.
I'm like, he's guilty.
He's
I said, yo,
guilty.
open the door. Sorry, open the boot. He's like, can't do that. I said, dude, listen, my fucking records have been stolen. All right, I just want to check your boot. Open the boot. He's like, I can't do that. Wow. I said, well, now you've got to fucking do it. He goes, all right, relax. He said, I'll open my boot. He said, but when you see what's in there, you got to shut the fuck up.
I know what it was.
I said, all right.
Was it a tiger?
I said, all right, whatever. Open the fucking boot, you dickhead.
Was it a body?
He gets up, he opens the boot. There's a fucking guy in there tied up with a gag on. Ankles tied.
Was it?
I'm like, holy shit. He slams it down and goes,
Was it?
I haven't got your fucking records, bro. I'm like, okay, I guess you haven't. Moving on. So if you were that guy in that boot, my bad.
Who was that guy?
Who was that guy? I don't know, but I didn't want any part of that shit. I'm like, fuck those records.
Really?
Take them. You're good. I never liked him anyway.
Was it pretty awesome, man? That must have been awesome, huh?
No, it wasn't awesome.
Oh, damn. Was it the guy looked scared or like they were playing hide and go seek?
I don't
or what
think
did
they
it
were
look
playing
like?
hide and go seek. As I say,
Did it look like a sexual thing or they were just like.
It wasn't maybe it was. You know what? I like to think it was a sexual
Yeah.
thing. I like to think it was. It's okay. That's just how they got off.
Yeah. Or just be
and
like.
I threw in an extra dynamic. They're like, ooh, we got a crazy skinhead wants his records back. This is role playing. We've never seen this before. It's like, get him in. Get in the trunk. Give it a shot. It's good.
That's great.
Oh shit. So yeah.
Wow. I never had it. I never had any.
No. And that's one of many, unfortunately. That's why I had to get out of that life.
Oh yeah, it doesn't. 2 years later, it's you in the trunk or it's you in the driver's seat.
Probably one or the other. Exactly. So yeah. I had to make a better life for myself, which is again what I did.
Do you sometimes though, is there part of you like, I mean, obviously, you've gotten to a level in life that, few people get to. And that's, that's just the way that life is folded out, right? That's just the way that it is. Do you look back kind of fondly on like your youth? Do you miss some of the grittiness of it? Do you?
Yeah, very much so. Very much. I mean, listen,
I do. Like that never leaves out of me sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, they say you can take the boy out of Clitheroe, you can't take the Clitheroe out of the boy or whatever, Same, take you out of Louisiana, but they can't take the Louisiana out of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved where I grew up. I loved it. It was a beautiful place. It really is. And I miss the people. I miss the sense of humor. I miss England every day. I really do. But we've built a good life here. We've got 3 children. We're happy here. But yeah, I miss England every day. I always say that I'd move back in a heartbeat. I say it to my wife to piss her off, but I wouldn't. I don't think I would. But the children are in school here. My wife, she moved around a lot. Her father was in the military. She moved around a lot. She moved to England when she was 16. She's Australian. And she met me. And then we moved here. So she's hypersensitive not to do the same thing to the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We took them away from their friends and family 7.5 years ago. Now they've settled. They've got friends. They've got girlfriends. My son's got a girlfriend. He goes to college next year. We can't do that to them, even though I miss it, and our life's here now.
Was I went to RAF Alconbury one time, or a couple of different bases.
Okay.
That are like around London, like doing some military shows
Right.
a long time ago.
Nice.
They were joint bases.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool. Very cool. Yeah. I've done some stuff like that.
Does your son use you as a tool to get women?
You know what? I think my son Callum, he's a great kid.
He's a fighter, right? He's a boxer?
No, he's a wrestler. He's a wrestler. Number 4 ranked wrestler in the state of California.
Wow.
So yeah, he's doing great. No,
But also
I
easy
think
to beat some of these guys in California, dude. I bet there's tougher kids.
Yeah, I don't know. They say California is one of the tougher states because most of them, you guys separate the states. California, you don't do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's everyone.
So it's everyone. No, he doesn't use me. I think, if anything, he kind of pretends that he's not my son.
Wow.
I think he finds me very embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? He's like right now, there's a few colleges like reaching out to him, for him to be on their wrestling team and go attend that college and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And he's like, no, Dad, I'll handle this. Because he thinks I'm going to go in and like be the overbearing fucking embarrassing dad.
Right.
And take over the situation. But no, I really won't. But still.
Are you pretty proud of him?
Oh, very proud. He's such a great kid. He really is. Never had to discipline him. Good grades. Captain of the wrestling team. He's just a great kid. Steady girlfriend. Yeah, very proud of him. He's nothing like me growing up.
Really?
No, I was a nightmare. It took me a long time to grow up. I was a nightmare.
If you were your son.
Until last year.
Really?
I've only just grown up. Dude. Finally got my shit together.
If you were your son, man, would it be tough to raise you? You think?
You mean if I was? Yeah, oh God, yeah, it'd be a nightmare. I don't know actually, because I wasn't a bad kid.
Right.
I wasn't a bad kid. Just the environment I was in. I mean, I went through. I mean, we do 5 years of high school in England.
Jesus.
It's not 4.
It takes one
No, but
more.
I said that once on Fox.
Yeah.
I said, I did 5 years of high school. And Karen Bryant thought I'd been held back a year. Oh my God, 5 years of high school. I said, yeah, that's just what we do here. But I did 5 years without doing any homework, pretty much. I didn't do any homework once. And
they wanted you out.
No, it's not because I was proud of it. It's just my home life wasn't conducive to sitting down in a nice quiet place and doing your fucking homework. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't that type of gaff. Like at my house, my son could sit down nice and peaceful.
It's comfortable.
Occasionally I'll walk up, I put my hand on his shoulder. Do you need any assistance, son? And he's like, no, I'm good. I got this, Dad. Okay. I'll give him like a glass of milk. It's very homely with the log fire crackling. And I say, well, I'm here if you need me, son. Proud of you. And I walk away. My house, no, not so much. It wasn't like
No milk.
There was no milk.
There was no milk.
There really wasn't.
Oh, I can imagine. No, it's different. It's different. Is it alarming as you, because my family came from some similar kind of type of environments, just like hostile home life, right?
Right.
A lot of my family, people from our family deal with like addiction and stuff like that and have struggled with that kind of thing. But then I noticed that as people from my family start having children, like their children's lives are a lot calmer and a lot.
Yeah.
Is is it rewarding to give your kids that life? Is it almost kind of like you feel like you're worried that the kids are going to have it too easy? Like that's one thing I worry about. I'm worried about like if I'm successful and then my kids are going to grow up in a plush environment, then they're going to be the people that I used to not be able to stand.
Yeah, no, for sure. I do hear what you're saying. Like prime example, just recently, I'm trying to give my children some money. And they're like, no, we're good, Dad. I'm like, here, do you need, let me give you 20 bucks. Like, no, Dad, I'm good. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, how spoiled are these little motherfuckers? I'm trying to force $20 on them and like, no, we don't need it. I've got 260 in my room. I'm fine, Dad. Keep your measly 20. I'm like, who are these children? But nah, they're great kids. They are. I'm very, very proud of them. I am.
Where do you keep the title belt?
There's one in the where I do my podcast, just in the background, and then there's one I think in another part of the house somewhere in a cabinet or something, getting dusty. I'm not that type of guy. I don't have like a
title belt's just laying around. Huh?
Yeah, well, there is a few where I do my podcast, but like this guy I know does like real good artwork, and he went through a phase of sending every time he did one of me. Yeah, you know, he'd send one to me because he was selling them, and I didn't mind. I thought they were cool and they're fantastic pieces of art. And he sent me tons over the years, and I've got like, and they're fucking huge. Right. And there's one section in the part of my house, I've got like 30 portraits of myself. Do you know? I'm like, but you can't put them on the wall. I'm like, I do sit there and look and go, that's really fucking good. But you can't imagine somebody walks in and there's like, you know, images of yourself all over the place. It's a little bit much. Yeah, so I'm not that guy. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's propping open a door somewhere, the title belt.
Do you look at it like that you, if you see the belt, like do you miss it? Do you look at it fondly? Do you look at it like, does it even seem like your life sometimes? I think that's one thing that's interesting. Like if I look back.
Yeah, it's like sometimes now when I sit and watch fights, I think, oh, it's crazy. But then I think, fuck, I used to do that. And I used to think nothing of it. Yeah. I thought nothing. I thought it was the most natural thing in the world because I'd just been a fighter my entire life. You know, I was always getting into fights. So it was just so natural. But now I've stepped away from it a little bit. And then I sit there and I watch and I see, you know, two guys engaging in a really tough fight. There's a lot of blood on this fight. I think, wow, these guys are fucking crazy, man. They're nuts for doing this. Yeah. But when you're involved in it, you don't see it like that. You don't see it like that at all, yeah.
What do you think about, do you think Poirier Diaz will happen or no?
It should do. I mean, they're contracted to fight. I mean, who knows? I mean, Diaz he's a crazy cat, isn't he?
So wild. I met his brother one time and it was pretty fascinating. One of the most interesting guys I've met or been around.
Can I run to the bathroom and we continue this conversation when I come back?
We'll do 10 minutes when you get back and we'll be done. All right, sweet. Excuse the interruption here, guys. You know, in case you don't want to be a professional fighter and you want to learn a different skill, well, you can go to Skillshare. Skillshare, it's an online learning platform with over 20,000 classes in business, design, technology, and more. You can take classes in social media marketing, data science, mobile photography, and creative writing. You name it, they've got it. Whether you're just trying to deepen your professional skill set or whether you're trying to change the game up, you know, maybe your wife comes home and next thing you know, you got a new skill, a little bit of CPR or something on you. Skillshare can help you learn and thrive. Join the millions of students already learning on Skillshare today with a special offer just for our listeners. That's right. Get 2 months of Skillshare for just 99 cents. Think about all the skills. That's just 99 cents. Skillshare is offering this past weekend listeners 2 months of unlimited access to over 20,000 classes for just 99 cents. Go to Skillshare.com/Theo. Again, that's Skillshare.com/Theo and learn something.
Bless him.
He says he's American, man.
Yeah, so are you.
I know.
I hate to break it to you.
I know. Damn, look,
And he's super sensitive.
And I'm super sensitive.
Me too.
I am.
Me too.
Are you really? You're not sensitive, man.
I can be. I get accused of that sometimes. You know, I'm pretty hard to offend, to be honest. But if I get a bee in my bonnet, I'll be a bit of an idiot.
Like, do you get like I know, you know, do you get like around, like, is it that service isn't quick enough? Like, what kind of thing gets a...
No, generally, I'm very, very happy-go-lucky throughout
right.
my life. I feel like I am. My children say I am. My wife says I am. I mean, yeah, now and again, just sometimes the stupidest thing, right? The
Yeah.
stupidest thing. But I try and work on that. I read a book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Oh, really?
You know, it's a great book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And
The solo lot?
the subtle art
Subtle
of
art.
not giving a fuck. Yeah, it's a good book. Check it out.
Is it?
Yeah. Basically, what they say is you've only got so many fucks to give.
Yeah.
So why would you give it over
that.
bad service or whatever?
Save your fucks.
Stupid questions on a podcast. You know what I mean? Save your fucks. There it is. Yeah. No, it's a really good book. Where it helped me a little bit. You know, but yeah, no, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty chill for the most part.
Do people like I mean, because you love to get in a verbal, just spats at people. It's fun. You love trash talking, huh?
Yeah, I enjoy a good debate.
Yeah. My favorite, the one with Kobe Covington, was pretty much favorite. That guy.
Ah, dude.
He seemed like such a.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, he came on to the Fox panel and just started abusing everybody up there straight away, abusing Karen Bryant, Kenny Florian, all of us. You know, yes, we predicted him to lose his fight, but that's our job as analysts. We have to say someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. And he took offense to that and started throwing shit at us. So, of course.
Was it fun, though? It's kind of
I
fun.
love it. I love it. I'm like, great, here we go. Now, the thing is, he kind of thrives in that controversy.
Yes.
That's the type of figure he is. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, all right, well, this is what he does. This is what he loves, and this makes good TV.
Yeah.
Like when I'm doing that Fox stuff, I'm trying to be entertaining. People don't necessarily just want somebody going, well, this fine, and fucking being boring as fuck.
Yeah.
You got to be entertaining.
Yeah.
You got to entertain on TV.
Especially
so I'm like,
now.
okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Colby will dance with me here. So I went at him a little bit, and he went at me back. And for me, in my mind, I'm just laughing. I'm just having a great time.
Yeah.
And then apparently there was this whole controversy afterwards how I was out of line for like stealing his moment. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I think it added
the guy
to
came
his
at me
moment.
and gave me shit. I'm gonna give you shit back.
Yeah.
That's just who I am.
And he wore women's sunglasses as well in that interview.
Were they really women's?
I mean, come
Oh,
on, bro.
dude.
I've never seen a man wear them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Me neither.
It looked like a woman that had been in a domestic
Exactly.
dispute, you know?
Yeah.
Do you, but I agree with you. I think it should be more entertaining.
I'm not saying it's not entertaining, by the way, in case any of those are watching.
Right.
But that's what I try and bring to the table when I do that.
Do you start to see MMA, UFC, like a lot of these fight universes, creating more entertaining characters? Like, do you start to see that becoming more of fighters, or it just depends?
Well, that seems to be the general narrative these days. What people try, and if they're trying to be critical of the sport, they try and say that these days it's more about being an entertainer or being a character and trash talking and all the rest of it. And I don't necessarily agree with that. Yeah, of course, McGregor's the biggest star that we have in the sport by far, and he's that guy. He's that type of character, and some people try and copy that. Pardon me.
No worries.
Like a Colby Covington, he's that type. But I kind of get the feeling he was always a shit talker.
Yeah.
You know, some people, if they try and do it, it's not good. You don't want to fake that. If that's your personality, great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, be that guy. But just be yourself. You know, I mean, going out there and trying to fake it, there's nothing worse than that, than someone trying to talk shit that can't talk shit.
Yeah.
That's all awkward, that's trying to deliver rehearsed lines and they're forgetting what the punchline was. It's painful. It's fucking painful. If you're that guy and you can't string a sentence together, focus on winning fights, okay? Because you're not going to steal the show at a press conference, you know? And there's a lot of good guys out there that do it, but there's a lot of guys that just keep quiet, respectful, and delivering the fights. So, yeah, I don't necessarily see that's the way the trend is shifting.
Right.
You know? I mean, there's...
It depends on
all different types of characters.
Different types of characters. Was there a fight that you always wanted that you never got?
Good question. I mean, the fight I always wanted was Anderson Silva, which I did get, which I was very proud of. You know, I was supposed to fight Gegard Mousasi in London on February 27th, which is the day before my birthday. And then Christmas Eve, Dana White calls me. I'm thinking, what the fuck's Dana White calling me for on Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
So I'm sure it ain't to say Merry Christmas. Yo, what's up, bro? Merry Christmas, man.
Yeah, I want to give you a really good deal on this fight.
Yeah. He says, hey, you want to fight Anderson Silva? I'm like, yeah, I do. He says, okay, cool. We've switched it. You're not fighting Gegard. You're fighting Anderson Silva. Merry Christmas.
Wow.
I put the phone. I was like, oh, shit. My wife's like, what does he want? I'm like, I'm fighting Anderson Silva the day before my birthday. So, yeah, I was super stoked about that one. It was a great fight. I won the fight, and there was a bit of controversy in the third round, and my mouthpiece fell out and went on the floor as I was trying to get it. He kneed me in the face, split my face open all over the place. But it all added to the journey, made it a fun fight, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's that's crazy, bro. I couldn't imagine, dude. If somebody would fight me, man, I would find so many excuses not to show up.
Yeah, but exactly, like, it's horses for courses.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
right.
you're a stand-up comedian. I mean, Jesus Christ, that would terrify me to walk out to a crowd of people. I mean, it probably wouldn't, if I'm honest. It probably
Right.
would. It's not that hard. But if Brendan Schaub can do it, dude.
Oh my God. He's gonna fucking
I'm swearing, I'm being honest. I'm just being honest. But but different people, different characters are suited to different things.
Yeah.
So maybe you're not a fighter, but there's things you can do that I can't.
Yeah.
Just like when I said everyone has a skill. Yours is obviously being a comedian, being a great podcast host. But yeah. There you go.
It's interesting, man. Is there something else that you want to do, you think of sometimes? I mean, commentating, obviously, I think it seems like from outsider's perspective, and, my producer Nick is a huge fan of MMA and of you and of UFC, and that it's going well. Is there other things you think about?
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
farming or anything like that?
It's funny you mentioned that. Me and my wife, we do dream of one day buying a house out in the country with some land, having some horses, some chickens, growing some vegetables, and having a nice, simple life. Eventually, we will get there. Primarily, my attention's on my acting career. I'm working hard on that. I'm off to 2 auditions straight after this.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I'm working on that. But that again, that's a very, very tough business to be in. But that being a tough business and being hard, that excites me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, not everyone can get it, and I've done some work and I've got some work lined up, and I'm doing little bits of here and there. But that's what I like. I like that chase.
Yeah.
Financially, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
You can
stable.
survive.
I'm all right. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I'm afforded this time to be able to pursue it and to be able to chase it, and that in some ways has replaced the fighting, the hunt. You know what I mean? Trying to get better, trying to learn, trying to go to auditions and smash it, trying to get projects, having the meetings. That whole fucking thing, you got to claw at it. It's not easy. It's hard. You got to claw away and try and make an impact.
Yeah.
And I like that. That excites me, and that's what I'm doing. So
I feel that, man.
Dude,
when they told me when I came here, and they're like, stand-up comedy is the hardest thing, right?
I'm sure.
Because I used to work in reality. I got here. I got into reality television, like just picked out of college, right? And
No way.
And people hated reality TV people.
Right,
you remember
course.
that was like
no, for sure. Yeah,
like,
exactly. They
fuck.
got no talent.
Yeah, no talent.
Yeah.
So I was here, and people were like, "Oh, fuck, this guy's got no talent." And I was a kid when they kind of picked me. I was a teenager. So
What was the show?
It was called Road Rules. It was like a.
Okay.
It was like a.
I don't know it.
It was
Real
just.
world spinoff.
It was like
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
It was kind of
all
like
right.
the Real World, same company, but there was like traveling and
Okay.
it's like kids traveling, like
Right,
teenagers
right.
traveling around, living together. And people were like, "Oh man, like these kids don't have any talent." So
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I don't have any talent." I was like, "I'm gonna take the hardest job you have, which you say is stand-up comedy, and I'm gonna fucking do that."
No way. So that's
what
how
I
you
said.
got into it.
I
Now, did you want to be a comedian, or was and is that a story that you just say because it fits in and sounds kind of badass, if you will, or was it legit? Oh, okay. What's the hardest? Stand-up comedy. I'm gonna do that.
I wanted to. I was always making people laugh. So I
Sure.
knew I had the ability
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
But I think that fueled me more than anything, honestly.
Yeah,
Just having
yeah.
that chip on my shoulder.
No,
Like, fuck
I-
this city. Like you guys don't know that I have an
Yeah.
ability.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
That's a powerful motivator. I've had that my whole life.
Yeah.
Even in the UFC, everyone used to write me off. They used because I was on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
And then I won the
Oh,
Ultimate
yeah.
Fighter, and they were like, "Yeah, but he's only here because they want the English market." You
Right.
know what I mean? He's got no talent and this and that. And then I lost to Dan Henderson, as you kindly brought up for everybody. And they were like,
Hey, look.
see, fuck this guy. He's terrible. And I was like, no, I'm going to show you all. I'm going nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give up. And it's the same thing now with the next phase of my life.
Yeah.
It's about
What's next?
what is next.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
The ambition never dies. That's the funny thing. It's like, we start thinking now. Brendan and I are doing King and the Sting podcast, and it's like the ambition keeps going. It's
Sure.
like you start thinking about, well, what if I wanted to write a book, or what if I dream about learning Spanish and being able to like go back to Nicaragua in the middle and Central America and do shows
Sure,
there. Like
sure.
the ambition never dies.
100% the goalposts just move.
Yeah.
That's all it is, And yeah, I had a great run of being a fighter, and now I'm on to the next phase of my life. And as you say, the ambition never dies. And in fact, for me now, it's amplified.
Yeah.
It's stronger than ever, because now, before that was kind of like my fail-safe. Being a fighter, that came naturally.
Yeah.
I was always a fighter. I did martial arts my whole life. I had more fights than hot dinners when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I was always that shit.
Who's
So for
Hot
me,
Dennis?
Hot dinners.
Oh, sorry.
More
I thought
fight-
Hot Dennis was a fighter.
Hot Dennis.
Like-
That's a hell of a nickname.
I'm like,
Imagine Bruce Buffer announcing him. Here we have Hot Dennis. Hot dinners.
give the
More
league-
fights than hot dinners.
give the league give the UFC a couple years. Hot Dennis will be one of the main attractions of it.
I love that. I had more fights than Hot Dennis. Whoa. Hot Dennis was a crazy motherfucker, man. He had more fights than him. No, more fights than hot dinners. But for now, this phase,
Yeah.
it's totally new. You know,
do you-
no one from my town is out here in LA
acting.
trying to do this shit.
I know.
Trying to do a podcast, trying to act, trying to fucking work on TV. You know.
What have you learned about acting? Like, what is something that surprised you about acting?
Well, something that surprised me. Well, it's definitely a lot harder than what people think. You know, I'm still learning all the time. You know, the main thing is just listening. You know, to whoever you're acting with, and feeding off what they're actually telling you.
Yeah.
For a long time, you don't do that. You don't listen. You're just waiting to give your line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you've got to live in the scene and hear what they're saying and take it on, take that emotion, and then respond with the correct emotion from yourself, because you've listened to those words and felt what those words mean to you.
Right.
As opposed to just, I know after he finishes this sentence, I say,
Let's go to the market.
exactly. you know what I mean? And it took me a long time to figure that out, I guess.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And I noticed the less you do, it's like you think actors are doing so much stuff, and really they're doing very little.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, for me, I'm kind of a hyperactive guy. Always have been. I was super hyperactive as a kid. So like on the screen, everything's amplified as well. So you like my acting coach is like, Mike, stop moving. You're moving all over the place, and stop, you know, slow down as well. You know,
Slow
I
it
mean,
down.
I talk fast, so obviously I got to slow it down, stop moving around, stop jumping about, you know, so it's a fucking work in progress, buddy.
Dude.
But I'm working hard on it. I'm doing all right.
I love it, man. Do we have any more questions? Do we?
There's one quick one.
All right.
that
All
right,
I'm
let's
really,
do this.
Get one, and
I'm
then
really
we'll get.
interested in.
Hey, this is Bryson Beggs from Canada. I have a question for Michael Bisping. So I see your son Callum is a savage at wrestling. I was just wondering, do you think he'll ever compete in MMA? Or any of your kids, do you think any of them will compete in MMA?
It's a question I get asked. Yeah, he's gone. It's a question I get asked all the time.
The little count.
Yeah, I always say I fought so that my children don't have to.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But
Yeah. You fought so that your kids can play with iPads if they want to for the rest of their life.
exactly. But
But he's talented,
But
though.
my son's talented. He's a great wrestler, and he loves MMA. He's obsessed with MMA. Like this weekend, I'll be working for Fox, and they give us what's called pop-ups. You know, so on the weighing show, when like the fighter walks out, we pop up in a little screen, and we have to give a little nugget of information. You know what I mean? And it's okay when it's Conor McGregor or Khabib or whoever, but when it's like the guy on the Fight Pass prelims all the way down at the bottom that you've never fucking heard of.
Yeah, like Hot
But
Dennis.
you're like Hot Dennis coming out of Clitheroe, England, right? You've got to have some stats on him.
Yeah.
I'm a very busy man, Theo. I ain't got time for that shit. So I'm like, Callum, give me some pop-ups, man. Give me some, I'll slip you 20. He's like, Dad, I don't need it. I'm rich, bitch. So he gives me all my pop-up information and stuff. He's obsessed with MMA. Like,
So he loves the universe.
he loves it, exactly. And so we talk about it a little bit. And I think maybe he'd like to have a couple of fights just to get it out of his system. You know what I mean? Because he loves it, and he's obviously a talented wrestler, which is a fantastic foundation for MMA. But he's a smart kid. And I want him to have, you know, I'd be a lawyer or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, if he wants to, I'll support him.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to, I'll be very happy as well.
And you don't think about that, like, I mean, I never had, I don't have any children, but does it feel like that a kid would like, that it affects your legacy, or just the fact of him being, your son, that's the legacy?
No, he's his own person.
He's his own person.
He's his own person, 100%. He always has been. He's a unique individual. He's Callum Bisping. Yeah, I'm his dad. He's doing it all by himself.
Yeah.
I ain't in there in class with him. I ain't on the wrestling mat with him.
Yeah.
He's handling shit himself, and he's doing a very good job of it.
Is there
I'm proud
stuff
of him.
he's better at than you?
Well, yeah. Last night, when I put my hand on his shoulder by the fire and gave him the glass of milk, I'm like, would you care for some help with your homework, son? And he says, yes, Dad. And he said, I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit busy right now, because I had no idea what he was talking about. So academics wasn't really my thing. And, algebra, all that. I was like, oh, shit. Sorry, son. I just got to take this call.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Michael Bisping, thanks so much for joining us.
My
we have
pleasure.
a gift
Good
too
to be
here.
here.
Yeah, I'm going to give you.
Oh, wow. We got gifts?
Yeah, just
Whoa.
This is our sponsor, Ridge. You can have it. They got a nice knife in there, a wallet, a
Really?
nice bag.
So now you're putting me to shame on my podcast. We don't do this.
That's okay.
We're saying that we don't have a bougie setup like this. This is very LA.
We can even set you up with them as a sponsor. Ridge is a great sponsor, man. They're really, really cool.
Very LA.
So they got
Look
some
at all
swaggy
this.
wallets. You can give one to
Wow.
Caleb if he wants.
He ain't getting shit.
There you go.
Buy his own stuff.
can-
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, he's got money.
Yeah, exactly. Theo,
You know?
pleasure, bud.
But yeah, cheers, Michael, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for being here. The Count, the champ. It's been an honor, and we'll see you guys next time.